Become a Golden Knight today and never miss a video by clicking that subscribe button and that bell. Anyway, on with the video. Hello my Golden Knights, it's Richyrichgold here and welcome back to another Greenville video. Now, this is a video that comes but once a year. We will be doing another Greenville Map Tour. Every single year, the Greenville devs are hard at work, basically changing the entire map and adding new things, and that can be extremely daunting for new players. So this video should be able to help you guys out and basically just tell you how to find your way around the great city of Greenville. Let's get started. So we're going to start off with the spawn. Now you've just spawned in, you don't really know what you're doing, you don't really know where you're going. But first of all, we're going to take care of basically just this building around here. Now it's just surrounded by a really big car park and that is pretty much it. If you're in a public lobby, which I am not, you will probably see a bunch of other cars and people, driving around and probably crashing a bit and running around. If you go into these doors behind you, this is where you're going to be able to buy all of your vehicles, and you will have quite a lot of them. There are just so many, absolutely hundreds of cars that you can choose from in every single different type that you want, even no pass required. And you can also buy passes from the actual Roblox game in order to, basically get access to luxury vehicles, electric vehicles, and of course, supercars like the one I've got sitting over there. And we do actually have to hop right into this one because we're going to look at what's in the same building but kind of next door. This is the paint shop. This is how you're going to be able to change the colors of all of your vehicles. You can see there are standard ones here. It only costs $750 to actually change the color. And then the premium over here, which you do need to pay for in the pass, I do believe. But basically you can pretty up your car or simply just change the color and make it something a little bit more you if you're not happy with the one that it came with. And that's all fine and pretty easy. Now, once you finally bought a car or found a friend to drive you, you might be a little bit overwhelmed as to the options of, directions and roads that you can actually go to. But this is more of a video kind of showing you not how to get started in Greenville and where to go first, but just an overall tour of the map so you guys can get a really good understanding of where it is you actually are. And it also will be helpful, you might find a little spot to get away from the police or something like that, and it might be very useful. So we're just going to turn out here and we're going to go and look at this edge of the map because it actually ends quite soon after you get from the dealership. So we're actually just going to be heading behind the dealership, just directly back here, just so we can keep an understanding of where we are. We want to keep you guys anchored because otherwise you might not know where you are. Now, there are a couple of buildings here. They do not have interiors other than the DMV, of course, which is very important. This is a kind of zone where you're going to be able to actually change your license plates, like I've got here. I've got a different state plate, and I also have a custom one that fits my name, of course. There are a couple other empty buildings over here. The only real building of interest is in this bottom corner of the map, keeping in mind we're coming from behind the dealership over there. Over here there is a really nice little motel that's always quite a lot of fun. You can actually claim rooms, I believe, and it's super fun for roleplay, especially if you've got a few friends with you. So, keeping in mind that the dealership is right over there, and we're at the motel right here, that is a little bit of a ring road, so we can take that right now. There is the edge of the map there. As I told you, it was in the corner of the map. So coming right down this road over here, considering the motel is right over there, we come down to this building and we're just going to take a right onto this road. Now this is the Metro Valley police station right here. It's quite a new addition. The Metro Police isn't a big thing in Greenville yet, but I assume there'll be some sort of expansion, and it may well be. Over here, this is the Department of Transportation zone here. These are the people that I believe manage the tow trucks and other things like that, and other sort of traffic services. Quite an interesting building. It's recently gotten an interior. and right here is a simple cafe without an interior. Over here is the ever so popular farmhouse. It's one of the first buildings to actually be claimed when you get into a Greenville server. And then up here, you'll actually see that we end up at a roundabout next to the one at spawn. There's the dealership right there, and there's the roundabout that we were at just before, and there's one right here. Now over here there's a simple petrol station and a burger house, basically a McDonald's, and over there is Hunty's, which is kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese sort of venue there. Now over here you'll just see what we've done. We've basically just taken a really simple ring road, leaving out that big highway in the center, which is another quick way that you can get down and basically get onto that small road. So we've basically just explored that entire corner of the map. Now we're going to go down a path that most people would when they get into a Greenville server. It's ignoring all of that stuff, which is mostly industrial section, but we'll get to that later, and just heading straight down this road. Now here is Truck Planet right here. It's more of a garage sort of thing. I believe that is a vet, and then right here we have a building that does not have an interior. There's some housing along here, as you can see. Just a small neighborhood on this side. And we head down here. Here's the bulk foods right there, and a Mexican restaurant. And then here we have, I believe it's called Fox Mountain. There we go, Fox Mountain Bank. It's another pretty popular destination. People will usually open up that store if they can. And then over here we've got another neighborhood here. But before we continue and go on to the main sort of area that people will hang out, we're just going to take a right and explore this zone a little bit. So continuing down this road actually links all the way up with the dealership, and this one literally just goes right there and rejoins with the main road. Heading over here, it's a pretty large neighborhood full of lots of little roads, and it's quite exciting over here if you were in a pursuit. If you just take a left over the road that I just missed, there's a little bit of a lookout where you can look out onto the lake, and obviously we'll be exploring the other side of the lake a little bit later. But continuing over here on this neighborhood here, it pretty much just goes on until you get into a back road that actually links up with another area all the way along the end of the main road. So it pretty much just continues, and there's nothing really special over here. There's plenty of houses, so if you want a house that's completely out of the way and no one's really going to find the house that you've claimed, this is probably the best neighborhood for you. But this road just ends at the end of the map there, and then just goes basically into a big emptiness over there, but we'll come back to that shortly. Okay, we're back here at the intersection we were just at, and keep in mind the dealership is right up there next to the roundabout, and we just passed those shops here. And now we're going to continue along this road, passing this smaller neighborhood and the larger neighborhood over there. And here is what's commonly known as the farms area. So there are a couple farms here. There's one that just goes further up on that dirt road, and it's not loading in at the moment, but it basically looks very similar to that one over there. And then over here, this is a very famous area that has just gotten a revamp. So if you haven't been on Greenville in a while, it's probably going to be a little bit of a shock to you. It was originally called Six Houses because there was just a small road there that had 6 houses on it. But it has since been renamed right here because it's got some more houses in it. So we'll just take a quick look at this neighborhood here. It's just basically added an extra road that has plenty of homes. These are probably some of the nicest homes in Greenville. It's a very nice location, but it's not the nicest homes. The nicest homes are right over here. So just off the main road, we go right here and we just take a right, and these are the lake houses that overlook the lake. There's the little lookout that we were at before when we were at the other larger neighborhood, and these lake houses are very, very nice, and a lot of people desperately like to claim them because obviously they are a lot of fun, especially if you've got some people over. because, you know, it's a waterfront property, you've got the balcony, it's all a pretty good time. There's lots of space too. So, we're going to rejoin the main road here. Now, 6 houses kind of marks the end of the farm area, but we do have this extra little farm section here, and, you know, more crops that run all the way over onto this super popular section. Now, this section here is going to be where you're going to find the most players, and it's also, you know, it's a really cool place because it's got a lot of the important buildings that are great for roleplay and also other stuff. But we'll get onto that in just a little bit. So right here, we've got the next stop petrol station. That's how you're going to be able to refuel your car, which I, as you can see, nearly need after driving around for a little while. There's also a cafe in the same building, and then right behind that we've got a baseball field as well. Right over here we've got the daycare center, right off the intersection here. Now we're going to head down this side. Keep in mind we came from the dealership up in that direction on 6 houses. And then over here, this is the municipal service center right here. And then over here is just a pretty empty building with nothing in it. And then over here we've got the fire station, and how can we forget the Wisconsin State Patrol station or the police station. And then over there, I believe, is a community service center, or it might be a town hall as well. It kind of has 2 functions, but we'll get the name in a minute. Yeah, there we go. Town hall, community center. It was basically both. So we're going to head over here now, keeping in mind that's where we came from. Now, if you head up here, you're going to basically see just a bunch of houses. It pretty much goes on for quite a while, and it pretty much doesn't end. And if you keep going up this road here, you'll be met with the tax office, which is right there, and also, I believe, the postal service as well. And if you remember, that small road there actually links up with the small road that goes behind that large neighborhood that we spotted earlier. So we won't be really visiting this area too much except for what's over there, but we'll get onto that in just a little bit. It's mostly just houses, and it's pretty much just a massive neighborhood. But if we go around here, we're just going to pretty much commit back to the main road. We're actually going to go off and explore something that's over this way. So keep in mind, dealership's over that way. We just explored that section, and we're going to go over here. Now, there's another small neighborhood off to the left. There's not that many houses. It's not a super popular area, but it is in a good spot, so maybe go for your life if you do like it. This road simply ties in with another sort of industrial area as well as the farms. But if we just take a right here at the back of the baseball fields, you'll actually see the school. So right over here, this is the Greenville School, or I guess the Greenville High School that we have in this game. And it's really cool. It's got a full interior, and they do some roleplay stuff, you know, pretty regularly, I think you'll find on the public servers, so, you know, just keep a lookout for that. And we're going to continue along this road because there's just a really small neighborhood tucked off in this area. Keep in mind the petrol station is literally right there, we haven't gone far, and right here is sort of the Greenville Park area as well. And we've just joined back up with the main road, and there we go, and we're just going to drive along here, and you can see where the traffic lights are right there. But we're actually going to take a left here and look at some pretty important buildings. So right here we've got the Twist, we've got the Allen Insurance Agency, and the Super Witch is what its new name is. It's basically a subway, if you couldn't tell already. Over here is the medical center, basically the hospital, the only hospital that we have, and the closest thing to a hospital that we have. Now, if you continue down this way, this is the house that I usually like to claim. It's in a perfect location, and I really do like it. But we're actually going to continue down this way, just through this neighborhood. We're not going far. The petrol station is right over there, because there's one more thing to check out over this way. Now, if you can make your way through that neighborhood there and go over the railway crossing, you'll find a cemetery. This is a pretty new addition to the game, and it's also pretty cool. A little bit morbid, if you like, but it's a cemetery. It's a graveyard, whatever you want to call it. And there we go. So if we kind of drive on this outer road of the neighborhood, we'll actually get down to a few different other shops. I think you should be pretty familiar with this area. It's pretty important. There's a straight road that just comes right from the sandwich shop and the hospital, and it goes all the way here. There's a car wash here. It's how you're going to be able to clean your car, because it does indeed get dirty, especially when you're driving off-road. So that is really helpful there. There's also a few other shops here. They do all have interiors, so they're quite interesting. And there's just a little lonely salon right there. Now this road up here, that literally just goes to the end of the map. There is not much there except a couple of farms. That is it. So that's pretty much the end of the map right there. But we have a few other things just to check out in this area, because there are a couple things that I missed that you're going to want to see. So back at this intersection, as you can see, I'm facing where we came from the dealership, and that was where the end of the map is over here. And we've got the big neighborhood right over there. But over here, we've got a little road that you want to check out. It's quite a lot of fun. If you take a right here at the tax office, you can actually go over here to the Greenville Lake area. This is kind of the main area, and you do want to kind of pay attention to this area, because during holidays, sometimes they do like to make some changes to this. I know in Christmas they usually do some sort of market or some sort of fair. It's called Lake Greenville. We've seen all the sides of it. There are the lake houses over there. You've also got the lookout all the way over there, and there's also a little one that you can walk up to or drive if you feel like breaking the law a little bit. And there's also just a small car park, and that is pretty much it for this side. So we're going to head all the way back over to the police station area and the petrol station, so that we can head up and explore the other section of the map. Okay, so we're back here over by the intersection with the petrol station, and we're literally just going to make the long drive all the way up, because we've explored this corner of the map, or this side of the map, enough, and we've just got one more section to go, and it is a pretty exciting one, so stay tuned as we just drive back through all the places that we've already explored. Alright, we are back over here by the spawn roundabout, and we're instead going to just go ahead and take a right down here, because there is a bunch of stuff to go over. Now, over here, I've already mentioned there's a car wash, McDonald's, and a petrol station right there. And over here, we have Hunties, which is basically a Chuck E. Cheese, which I've already mentioned. And over here is a credit union bank, which is very, very cool. It also has an interior. It's actually the second bank that we have in Greenville. Now over here to the right, it is just a bunch of industrial buildings, but they do somewhat serve a purpose, as they do have some very big and open parking lots, which are quite useful for doing burnouts and donuts and all that kind of fun stuff. And right here we just have some smaller industrial buildings. But the more interesting things are over here in the form of shops. As you can see, we've got the Just Buy right there, which is always fun. But here is actually a very important building, keeping in mind that the dealership is right over there. It is pretty close. This is actually a place where you can change your tires and your rims, so it's really, really cool. It's just super fun, and it's an amazing feature of the game that you're able to do that. What actually does happen is when you go over a curb too quickly, your tires do blow up, so you've got to get them fixed, or because otherwise they'll just be flat the entire time. So over here we've got a few interesting shops. We've got the Greenville Fan Store, where you can actually buy some shirts that are available on the shop, on the actual Roblox game page. Another notable one is the Celestial Store, basically a Tesla store, which is super fun to do as well. And over here is the Just Buy. It's a super fun building. There's so much stuff to check out, and it's really fun, especially if you're just a little bit bored and just want to basically browse and look at all that cool stuff. And over here there's an event planner's van, which is kind of just off to the side, and it's one of the only kind of unique vehicles that they've put in the game, so it's really, really interesting that that is there. Craig's Sporting Goods unfortunately does not have any interior, but hopefully it will get one soon. It'll be really interesting to see what's in it. And over here, just a quick dollar, which is basically just a dollar store. That's pretty much it for this kind of shopping area. It's pretty popular, I think you'll find, especially since the tire store is right there. But across the road, we've got basically a Burger King and another little dry cleaners over here, as well as a petrol station. And really quickly, I may just get myself some fuel right there. This is how you do it, guys. It's really, really easy. You just click on the pump and you hold to fill, and then it fills up your entire tank just like that. Down there, just another couple of distribution centers or industrial buildings right there, but we actually want to go and check out this. This is the airport. It is pretty cool. It's very out of the way, but I assume that may change in a recent update with more buildings and things being added. But over here, you can actually enter onto the runway right here, although I do believe it is illegal to do so. And you can actually see the planes in the game. Now, there are no actual working planes in the game, except for one that usually flies over down the main road across the dealership and that kind of zone. That's basically just part of the game. There's not actually someone flying. You'll probably see that earlier in the video, or even later, depending on our luck, if we do get to see it. So keeping in mind, the dealership is right over there. We came from this direction, checked out some of these shops, and the airport is right over there at the end of the map. This road basically just links back into that other section that I looked at earlier, over where the twist is and the school and that kind of area. That's where it all goes. There's a few ring roads that are quite interesting to check out if you do get a little bit bored, but mainly I just use the main roads because it's a bit quicker. But we're going to head down this way, and you'll see this dirt path that links up to one of the farmhouses that I saw earlier. Now over here we actually have a few interesting buildings. On the right, coming up here, you'll see the sheriff station right there. You see the sheriff department actually quite active these days, so it's very, very interesting to actually see where they kind of come from. Now over here we just have a few empty buildings, nothing too interesting there. They don't have interiors. And over here, this is also an empty building, but I do believe it is some sort of elementary school or middle school. Please don't shout at me if I got that wrong, but do let me know in the comments if you actually do know what this is, because to my knowledge there's no kind of signage, and we only have a couple of clues to actually piece together what it is. Across the road from there, keeping in mind the airport and just by a right over there, this road literally just links up to a spot that we looked at earlier with the Metro Police Station, and there are just a couple of houses along the way, but other than that, it is just a single quiet road. And there is that plane that I was talking about flying overhead. It's not a real person, as you can see. There is no one except for me in the session. It is just a really cool feature of the game. It really makes the game just feel so much more alive. Anyways, everyone, that is going to do us for today. Hopefully you found this video useful. Hopefully you got at least something out of it. Hopefully it entertained you as well. And thank you all very, very much for watching once again. Greenville can be a little bit of a confusing place, but hopefully this video made it just a little bit easier. Thank you all very, very much for watching once again, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.